Welcome to the Life Show with Musart. I hope you all had a lovely Ramadan and a great Eid. Today we have a very, very special guest who is going to share his journey of into the Nasheed world, why he's doing Nasheeds, and mashallah, he has used Nasheed as without music and the humming and stuff like that, and it's quite spiritual. And I just really wanted to know his story and why he's doing it. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome to sister.
Thank you so much for coming all the way. I
Jazakallah.
appreciate your time. I know you must be a very busy man.
Jazakallah for having me, alhamdulillah.
Right, so tell me, what got you into singing?
First, in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most just, the most kind, the most compassionate, and I send my peace and blessings on the beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So for me, I started singing. Obviously, I was guided back to Islam in 2011, but before that, I used to be an R&B pop singer.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so basically...
Couldn't imagine that.
So in 2006, I think it was the first time I started singing.
MashaAllah.
I was watching X Factor.
11 years ago.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
watching X Factor, and I just started singing along to a song. And at that moment, I was not actually doing anything. I wasn't studying. I was just trying to find my way in life. And then all of a sudden, my friends with me go, "You've got a good voice," and I went, "Really?" And I thought that my friends was probably just having, messing around with me. And then what I did was, because I wasn't doing anything, I thought, "Can I sing?" So I booked in a session with a vocal tutor. And what happened was, at the end of the session, they were just talking first, like why you want to sing and how you use your voice and all that. They didn't hear me sing. So at the end, when they started writing notes, the person goes, "Can you start singing for me then? Let me hear what your voice is about." So I started singing, and they stopped writing, and they looked up and went, "Oh, you've got a good voice." And I went, "Really?" So it was really, really new to me. So that was basically the beginning of me. I've got no musical training.
Wow.
I just
Born with talent.
yes, alhamdulillah. I could write. I was always good at English in school, so I just thought, okay, let me just start writing a song. So I used to listen to music back in the day. So obviously I knew the structure,
Yes.
music structure. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, final chorus. So then I just started writing, and I remember I wrote a love song first. Anything that came to my mind, and yeah, that was kind of at the beginning of me to singing.
That's when you got into R&B and...
I was already into R&B. I was just listening to music.
You used to listen to it, I don't know, but so did you ever sing any R&B, or was you just into R&B?
At the time when I started singing?
Yes.
So when I started singing, I didn't obviously know that before that I could sing. I didn't have a clue. It was very... So when I started doing it, the natural direction for me was R&B.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to listen to R&B.
Did you start rapping and stuff?
No, it was singing. So Craig David
Okay.
was an inspiration for me back then. Craig David, Michael Jackson, obviously, Bill Withers, Stevie Wonder, Curtis Mayfield, all these kind of guys. So that was the kind of Boyz II Men. That was the kind of music that I was already listening to. So that was the direction I went into.
Okay. So what was your first song then?
Well, with the music industry, it's a proper machine. It's a well-oiled machine. Everything is in place. You can't just go out there and just sit. You can, but it's very difficult. You need to build your name up with DJs.
Yeah.
So from 2006, what happened was, as I said, at that moment in my life, I was doing nothing. So the first thing I did was, when I started singing, I thought, you know what I need to do? I need to buy a guitar.
Okay.
So I went out and I bought a guitar. I went to Argos, got a £30 guitar.
Did you have to play a guitar?
No, I taught myself.
Oh, wow.
So I taught myself. So then what I did, I went, okay, I need a microphone now. So I bought a £10 microphone from PC World, and the same day I bought a music software, and I just plugged it into my computer PC, and I just started just doing what sounded good to my ears. And I went in to buy something for my guitar, actually, into a music shop, and there was like a leaflet there, and it said Community College Music. And I thought, I'm not doing nothing in my life at the moment. I picked the leaflet up, I took it home, and I called them, and I went, this is starting in 2 months. How can I get into this? How much is it? They went, it's free. You've got to just come in and sing a song for us, right? And I went in, and I remember there was 2 ladies sitting there. It was in Whitechapel. 2 ladies sitting there, and I just had my guitar, and I wrote a song called Name, and I just started singing it. And the ladies were like, "Oh, you've got a really good voice. You've got a place in the college." And I went, "Oh, brilliant." So I started that in 2007, and then when I was in the course, there was an option to get into university with the course. Nobody had done it ever in their kind of history of that music course. So I thought, let me try it at the end of the day. So alhamdulillah, I was the first person ever to get into university from that course.
Wow.
So I got into Westminster University.
Mashallah.
I did a BA Commercial Music and Media degree. So that was a 3-year degree. And in that time, I started developing
so was your
myself.
passion, so did you ever have so you've been passionate about music for a long time?
Never. Before, I just used to listen to it. I never cared about. I was a big football player. I used to love football. I had a dream of being the first Asian footballer. So for me, that was the goal. My brother was a semi-pro. So I used to have that kind of thing in my life. I want to be a footballer. I want to be a footballer. That didn't work, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I dropped out. I dropped out of college as well before that. And I actually worked in America as well before that.
Okay.
My dad's got a shop there. So I worked there, went there. Yeah, life was really tough, to be honest with you. It was a really up and down kind of struggle of my life. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was doing. I had connection with my Lord, but I had no connection to Islam. My mother and father were very practicing, alhamdulillah, and the earliest memories of my life is my mother reciting the Quran at Fajr time. And I remember when I was growing up, I wasn't a good person. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. I mean, I used to trouble my mother, and I remember my mother said to me once, she got sick of me, and she goes, Umar, when you leave the house today, remember I can't see what you're doing, but your Lord can.
Wow.
And that is with me until this day. And my mum said this in 2000, not even 2000, 1990s. My mum said that to me. And it stuck with me. That connection with my Lord. I had a connection with my Lord. I had no connection to Islam. I just had a connection with Allah. I knew that was my creator. I knew that was my faith. And that's it. There was no other kind of thing. So yeah, so then I got into college. And the journey with music is very, very difficult. You know, it's very difficult.
It's quite competitive as well.
It's a very competitive market. So I got a manager. And then what happened was, with the music game, you have to go through DJs. You have to go through underground. So what I did is I started recording, and I started experimenting, you know. I won a competition on Club Asia Radio, and then I started getting confidence, thinking, you know, I'm winning things, things are happening. Then my track got playlisted on mainstream radio, got playlisted.
Is that
BBC.
the name one that you're saying?
No. That was just the first song one of the first songs I wrote. That got me in college. But the ones that I did, that got playlisted was a track called Superstar Chick.
Okay. Wow.
And the other one was called, I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called something My Love or something.
Oh wow.
But these tracks were playlisted on, you know, Choice FM, BBC One Extra.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah, so.
Then what? So when did you have this shift that you thought, I'm gonna let go of R&B music, and I want to go into dedicating it more to my Lord?
Early 2011, I remember we sent my second track, My Love One, to radio, because you have to go through a plugger.
Yes.
And the radio guy sends your track to every DJ, and then at the end of it, sends you a report. And my report was really good. Like it was a second track, and every DJ kept saying, I got an A for it. They actually grade you.
Okay.
So that's that's how competitive that game is. Okay. And the DJs kept saying, we've heard one track we like of this guy. The second track's even better. We can't wait to hear this guy's third track. So then what happened was, at that kind of time, my heart, whenever I used to go into the studio, I wasn't feeling right. The music industry is a place where you have to think you're the best at music. You go into dark places with sunglasses on. Yes. You think you're the top guy. You have to be competitive. You have to think no singer's better than me. Nobody's better than me. I'm the best. And I used to have cornrows. I had braided hair. Okay. I used to have braided hair. I used to have earrings.
Oh wow.
I didn't have a beard.
Out.
Yeah. Well, that's the music industry. Yeah. I didn't have a beard. I obviously didn't know nothing about it. I didn't even know what a thobe was. Like, you know, to be honest with you, I didn't know what nasheeds were. I didn't know what this. So then, my heart wasn't feeling right. As I said, my connection to my Lord was really strong, and that is from my mother.
Something was just
it was very very uneasy. My heart was always uneasy when I used to go into. I used to perform in really bad places.
Something's missing.
Yeah, I used to perform in really bad places. At the end, and that's where you have to go to build your name in the industry. You know, you've got all kinds of haram stuff around you, and you have to
do it for a living.
That's the kind of environment you're in. That's who you've adopted in your life, and you better deal with it at the moment. You know, the shaitan is very clever with what he does. And my heart was like, literally, I used to always feel like, man, I don't want to perform. I used to always have a guitarist with me, so I made it a very clear choice that I was going to be a guy who always sing live. So I always made that an intention, because people don't sing live anymore. It's very rare. Mainstream they do. That's top mainstream. But if you look at the kind of underground, they don't perform live. People have backing tracks and they just sing over it. So I thought, that's how I'm going to stand out. Anyway, so when I did that, my heart, and then I remember one day, it was really weird. People say, how did it come? I just said, look, the decision just happened. I just made that decision that I'm not doing music anymore.
Wow.
I'm not doing music anymore. And I remember when I stopped.
Was it like a relief when that happened, or was it just?
I didn't know. Did you just
feel like, yeah, this is what I'm right, I'm doing right about this? Like your decision, wasn't you confused, conflicted, or I'm letting go of so much money?
I was scared because obviously I didn't know. I thought, am I going to go back to that life in my past where I was doing nothing? And I was like a bum, really, to be very honest with you. You know, the truth of the matter was I had no purpose in life before I found the music. Yes. And when I found music, I was chasing after fame. I always used to have a goal to get to the Grammys. That was my kind of thing. My aim was to win a Grammy. So I thought, I'm going to get there. I'm a very ambitious guy, but sometimes my ambition is dangerous because I push myself too hard. And when I left, I said, I'm not doing it. I don't know what I'm going to do, though. I had a degree, but what am I going to do? And I remember somebody said to me, why don't you do Nasheeds? And I went, what's Nasheeds? I was like, what's that? And they go, do you remember I played your track once by a guy called Sami Yusuf? And I went, okay, but the guy uses instruments. I don't want to use instruments anymore. You know, I don't want to, I know what it says. My Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said about instruments. I don't want to go near it. And he goes, no, don't, just do a cappella. And I went, yeah, but a cappella, I knew a cappella, but I was like, what's that going to do, bro? Like, who's going to listen to a cappella? He goes, trust me, man, there's a market out there. And I went, okay. And he goes, and I go, a cappella, that's easy. I used to listen to Boys to Men, Shy, and all these kind of guys. So I thought, okay, cool. So I remember my producer, I hadn't told him yet, my producer's a Christian, Arab. So I remember I went in and he noticed the change. What started happening during this time is I started growing a beard. I just wanted to implement the sunnahs of my Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I started praying salah all the time from then. That was my thing. I prayed 5 times. I had to. So I did it and I started growing my beard and I went into the studio and my cornrows were out. So my hair was really long. And I go to my producer, I go, I'm not doing it anymore, bro. Because what do you mean? We're working on your 3rd track. I finished it. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I've got the beat ready, everything's ready. He goes, all right, cool, we want to do this track. What track do you want to do? I went, I don't want to do music anymore. So he goes, what? What do you mean? Well, you don't want to do music anymore. So what do you want to do? And I said, I want to do something called Nasheeds. And he goes, what's that? And I went,
explaining again.
And he goes, no, I don't need to know what it is. I go, cool, what's the track's name? And I go to him, Allah.
Oh, mashallah.
And he has a spinny chair like an evil villain. So he spun his chair around and he looked at me and went, listen, he goes, bro, I know you're growing the beard and all that. But obviously, you can obviously understand that he's a Christian Arab, so he's hearing all this stuff about Muslims in the media anyway. And I'm not showing none of my deen to this guy before. I had no connection with my religion, so why am I going to show him anything? And then he goes, brother, are you all right? Like, is everything good? I went, everything is all good, my brother. And I just sang the song to him, the Nasheed. And he goes, did you write that? Obviously I wrote it myself. And he goes, yeah, it sounds good, bro. So I did it, and subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so kind. I remember I recorded it and I was like researching the Nasheeds then. I thought, let me find some record labels. But then I found out there's no record labels. There's no industry. So I thought, what am I going to do? So I started a YouTube channel, you know, because in the mainstream game, they told me not to start a YouTube channel because they were like, go underground, get signed by a record label, and then everything will happen through that, if that makes sense. Even though now that's changed now. Record labels will not sign you unless you don't have a following anymore, because they don't want to invest in you anymore. Record labels don't have money, so they want you to have the fan following, and then they want to just grow on that, if that makes sense. You know, it's like having a successful business. Everywhere nowadays. It's having a successful business, and then the bank will give you something, if that makes sense. I understand. So then I remember I was researching, where can I find record? I found nothing. I just found an organization in Gloucester. And I sent them my Nasheed, and they had a website called Nasheed Channel. And I go, I want to put my Nasheed there. And then alhamdulillah, he goes, you know what? Let me finance your album. MashaAllah. And Qadr Allah went, wow. I went, what, you want to pay for my album? He goes, yeah, you're really good. Obviously, they probably hadn't heard anything, because what I did with my Nasheed was I bring my style of Western music into it. I'm not, I was a big fan of Bollywood back in the day. So what I do is I have that side, but I also have my Western side.
You need to listen to Dumiho. Yeah, yeah, go
Not the Bollywood version.
No. I'm gonna come back to that one in a minute because I remember when we had our first chat, and I was so excited when I heard him because I'm a big fan of Omar Esa. I listened to all his Nasheeds, right? And I said, "Well, do you remember what I said to you? I said you stole my idea."
Yeah.
No, because when I heard Dumiho, the song itself,
yes,
it is a lovely song.
It is, yeah.
And I love what you've done with it because, and when I heard that song myself, I thought this song should be dedicated to Allah. You cannot give that much attribute to a human being.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and then subhanAllah, when I heard your Nasheed, I was like, this man's beat me to it. He's done it before me. So I was like, well, but mashallah, obviously as a woman, I can't do that. But then I thought, wow, subhanAllah, you've done it. And it brings tears to my eyes when I heard it the first time. Like, subhanAllah, this is the right way because Allah Ta'ala deserves all this attribution.
Indeed.
He blesses us and stuff like that. Hence what, we're going to show you one of his songs now before we continue. So not songs, sorry, one of his Nasheeds called Rab, which is one of my favorites. It has such a beautiful meaning to it, and we are going to play it right now. I think we've had a bit of a problem with the sound system, so Omar Esa has offered to sing it to you, bless him. Right.
Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is called Rab. Here goes, Bismillah. हर सांस उसकी मेरी जान रब का मुझ पर बहुत है एहसान हर सांस उसकी मेरी जान रब का मुझ पर बहुत है एहसान कैसे उसे ही भूल जाऊं जिंदगी भर रब को चाहूं रब को याद करूं रब को याद करूं रब को याद करूं दिन रात याद करूं रब नू याद करा रब नू याद करा रब नू याद करा दिन रात याद करा या रब सीधी राह दिखा दे या रब मुझे अपना बना ले सोता हूँ जब जागता हूँ यही दुआ बस मांगता हूँ कैसे उसे ही भूल जाऊं जिंदगी भर रब को चाहूं रब को याद करूं रब को याद करूं रब को याद करूं दिन रात याद करूं रब नो याद करा रब नो याद करा रब नो याद करा दिन रात याद करा
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Oh my God, I feel privileged to hear that live. That gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. It's just the words, mashallah, your voice is so soul touching.
Alhamdulillah.
And you should thank Allah every day for it.
All the time.
You know? And it's that track, okay, I don't know, I'm speechless. That track that you wrote, it's very, very deep meaning.
Yeah.
Like it's appreciating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What were you thinking when you wrote it? What was it that brought you to write it?
I co-wrote this one. I co-wrote this with a brother called Raza from Manchester.
Okay.
What happened was I came up with the chorus. So I remember I was sitting there one day and I just started singing and I thought, oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And then that's how an idea starts. So then what happened was then I thought, I spoke to my good brother of mine, Raza, and we just co-wrote it. I told him how I wanted it, speaking about Allah, praising Allah, and that's basically the concept of it. And just going back to Tumi Ho, you're right, my sister, them lyrics shouldn't be for a man or a girl, anybody. They are for Allah. That's why usually when I do covers, I've done about 5 covers, I change the words. But Tumi Ho I couldn't change it. The lyrics are already so good.
Yes.
There was no way I could have made them better.
Yeah.
So the only thing I changed was I did a new bridge, and I said,
You changed it about
I can't even remember how the chorus goes. One, Tumi Ho, Ya Rabbi, bas tum hi ho.
Ya Rabbi, you brought Ya Rabbi.
Yeah, I just brought a Rab and I changed a little bit. So this is what I try. This is for me. They say, I'm sure a scholar has said it, that the water, if all the oceans, the seas, the rivers were ink, you wouldn't be able to. It will all dry up before you could explain how much the might and beautiful our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. You know. So this is the truth. You won't be able to express how much you love Allah because there's so much love.
Yeah.
So then what do? It never finishes. So the content is always there. So alhamdulillah. So the rub was basically that. You know, remember my Lord night and day. That's what you want to do.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. I don't want to start crying because you got me overwhelmed.
Oh,
no, but mashallah, yeah, so, yeah, I'm saying when I heard that was quite moving. And also there's another track you've got is Mawla Ya Sallim
Yes.
hopefully we'll try that at the end and see
Yeah.
if I can play. So we'll come back to your story. So as you progress to doing more nasheeds and Allah Ta'ala obviously created more ways for you
Yes.
to become more popular and get more success, has it been that, you know, it's made you closer to your deen, obviously?
Oh yeah. Sorry, we're gonna finish your question.
You've had to go into
I
a train of thought.
was thinking it, yeah.
Yeah. No, so explain your journey there then. Like, you know, like obviously you're expressing your passion.
Yeah.
I can really read the passion in your voice. I think
Yeah.
they always say that when somebody is so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Prophet, when they, especially if they sing, it doesn't matter if they've got a bad voice.
Yeah.
You can feel it in their voice.
Yeah.
You can feel where that passion is coming. But mashallah has blessed you with a good voice as well. But, you know, so explain that. How has this confirmed your deen? Has it made you closer to Allah when you've been, you know, obviously you're dedicating all your songs to Him and His prophets?
Yeah, you know, for me, my sister, my journey now is I'm a strictly voice only. Like I don't even use the duff, even though there's some scholars that say that's permissible. But I just use my voice. And the reason for that is because because of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying and the ayat in the Quran. But the truth that marries my sister is that there's a lot of music out there.
Yes.
You walk on the street, you go out right now, you're going to hear music from a car, you're going to hear it from a shop, you're going to hear it everywhere. Put TV on, adverts everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give over 1.5 billion Muslims and non-Muslims an alternative. We have enough of music which is vulgar, which is this, which is that. But we don't have enough which is praising our Creator, praising our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, talking about the Quran, the ayat, the hadith, the stories, the prophets. We don't have enough of that. And there's a generation that's coming up now, which is what I want to change. For me, I have a vision. If I wanted money, my sister, I'll go back to music.
Yes.
And one of my tracks back in the day was actually picked up by Mahesh Bhatt in Bollywood.
Wow.
So, and that was not even a good track. Now I've developed to a different kind of artist. So what I could do now is a different level. Obviously, everything is up to Allah. But for me, now the thing is that my vision is to now work for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm not going to lie. Just yesterday I wrote a status, and it's just the truth of my life is that I said I'm finding it difficult to do nasheeds. I tell you why. There's factors to this. The shaitan's constantly whispering at me. He's always telling me, what are you doing? you've got talent, use it for music.
Yeah.
Money's in the music.
Yeah.
People in my past, I say, what are you doing, man? Why are you wasting your talent on Muslims for? Because they listen to music anyway. I don't believe that. I believe Muslims do appreciate nasheeds,
Yes.
but it's a constant struggle. Wallahi, every day is a day that I say to Allah, Allah, I gave up instruments for you. I love instruments.
So you keep getting whispers.
No, but I love
yeah.
instruments, my sister. That's the truth of the matter. But I don't use them for the sake of Allah.
Yeah.
There's many people who love things which are not good for them,
Yeah.
but they don't do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is, I pray and I ask Allah, I pray that is where the reward is, inshallah, because I've sacrificed something.
You're changing that. So you're trying to change this whole mindset.
Yeah,
really, it's like a mindset journey, really, because you're trying to give them an alternative. Okay, look, you know, you don't have to listen to music. It's like you, when you did your happy song, I'm happy to be a Muslim. It's like the same beat and stuff like that. So another question I want to ask you: Do you not ever have a problem when you are obviously, I want to say copying, but you're rewriting?
Yeah.
Using the same beats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there not? What's the ruling of that in the music industry?
They'll copyright the video. So when I put it on YouTube, I don't monetize it. So what happens is that record label, they monetize it straight away.
Oh, okay.
So they're making money off it.
Oh, really? So what's his name?
Pharrell Williams.
Yeah, Pharrell. Yeah. So but even with like when you're doing like if you it's like a what's the word?
It's a cover, isn't it?
Yeah, no, not cover. I mean like when you're doing the same beat.
A remix.
Yeah, no, when you're doing the same beat. For example, you did Happy.
Yeah.
The beat is exactly the same, but the words are changed.
Yeah.
No music.
Yeah.
But you sure you don't get any problems like at all?
From
the
record label or from people?
No, record label saying you've stolen our track, you've stolen our idea.
No, because you don't monetize a video. I mean, I don't monetize it, so they just monetize it for them. So
you can't put an album, basically?
No, I wouldn't be able to do that because obviously that's copyright, and they just do their thing. No, they never complain. Like Hello, for example, I did. That's
Hello.
Yeah,
you did one with Adele, by the way.
Yeah,
Hello, it's me.
Yeah. So I did that, and I rewrote that as well.
Okay.
And I remember on the day I released it, they monetized it straight away. The record label came in and monetized it.
So you're benefiting Adele?
Yeah, she's making money off it because it's got like nearly on 3 million views.
Mashallah,
so she's making
mashallah.
money.
Even Rub has mashallah about almost 2 million views as well.
Rub, alhamdulillah. That makes me more happy because that's my original content, right? Ya Rabbi and Rub are over 1 million views. Yeah,
mashallah, mashallah. So coming more to like when you singing, are you singing at home for your kids or your daughter? I
have a son. Yeah.
Yes.
He's my barrier now. Like whenever I sang a track to him the other day, and he was distracted. He was going like that.
That means he doesn't like it.
No, he doesn't like it. So I sang him another one, and he just looked at me, and I thought, that's the hit there, right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he knows.
Is he like your little genie? Then,
He literally tells me which one's the one. I'm not even joking. Which ones I like, and I play him sometimes. He just goes like that.
Oh.
When I play one to him, he starts looking and he starts going like that, and I'm like, no, don't do that. He's only 10 months old.
Oh, subhanallah. So do you ever sing him to sleep or?
Rub, for example, was it was the one that when he was born and he used to cry in the back of the car. When he used to cry in the back, we used to put it on. Wallahi, I've actually got a video online. Put it on and he stops crying, and you stop the track. He starts crying. You put the track on again.
Mashallah.
Then alhamdulillah, that came out before. So when it came out, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most kind. It was very successful for me. Rab was very successful, alhamdulillah. So yeah, so he's my go-to guy now.
Oh, mashallah. Yeah. But you know, they say children are obviously pure.
Alhamdulillah.
So obviously, you know, he's got pure heart.
He doesn't listen to music, obviously. So
yeah,
I'm making him feel that kind of. You know, he's coming into a household where he listens to just voice only. It's an experiment.
Mashallah.
Let's see, inshallah.
I think it's doing very well because he's like your little composer telling you, no, that's not working.
He's my little composer.
That's working.
Yeah.
Mashallah. So when you come up with ideas for lyrics and stuff like that, what would you normally do? Do you normally lock yourself up in a room and start writing, or do they just come to you?
They just come to me. They come to me. For me, alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah. My sister, look, I'm not good at science. I'm not good at maths. I'm not good at anything. I'm good at writing. You give me a dictionary, you give me a book, anything, I'll sing it for you.
Really?
This is the talent Allah. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
no, I can literally anything, magazine, anything.
Wow.
You give it, I'll read it and I'll come up with a melody and I'll sing it. But this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it to me.
Wow.
And this is what I have. I believe everybody's got a talent. You just got to find it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed me to find what I can do, and now I'm just trying to use it for the ummah.
Mashallah. So coming back to you as a person. You seem like a very positive person.
No, I'm not positive at all.
You look so chilled out. And like,
you know what? You know, I'm a believer that I have a lot of faith.
Mashallah.
And I believe that whatever happens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has got my back. You know, I don't cheat anybody. I'm honest. I treat people how I want to be treated,
Mashallah.
and that's how I live my life. And I make many mistakes. I've got many flaws.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to become a better person every day. I mean, the Sahabas used to go to sleep at night. They used to look at the good they did in the day and the bad they did in the day, and they said to themselves, what bad am I going to take away for tomorrow, and what extra good am I going to do? And that is what I try to do. I mean, sometimes I do fail, but I try to just become a better. But it's a very, very difficult industry. My sister, you have to understand, there is no backing in this industry. There's no record label. There's no managers. There's no PR team. There's no radio. So I have literally built myself off my YouTube page. That's my platform. And by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's working. I work really hard. I'm always in the studio. I'm always coming out with new material. I've got this new album I've got out now as well, My Muslim Family. It's just constantly giving people an option. I don't want to go to the day of judgment, my sister, and I don't want people to say... You want to
have something good.
Yeah, I don't want people to say to me, Allah gave you something.
Even if one person you convert,
yeah,
mashallah, even one person, if you turn them away from the music industry and convert them into just vocal,
yeah,
and plus you're doing the tarif of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and everything. So obviously that in itself is a massive reward.
Inshallah, I pray to Allah.
Even if one person, I'm just giving you examples.
Inshallah.
So mashallah, you're on a very right track. So when come back, like you said, so I forgot to ask you at the beginning when you said you had those cane rolls and those big earrings and doing R&B, and when you went home, how would your parents reacting to that?
My mom and dad were happy. My mom and dad were happy.
They're happy with the big earrings.
No, you don't. They weren't big. They were like studs. My mom and dad were happy because of the person I used to be. So when your past is not good, your mom and dad are happy that you're doing something with your life, and that's every mother's dream. At least he's doing something, right?
So they never said to you, "Why are you singing?"
No, they didn't. Because at the end of the day, to be very honest with you, I didn't used to tell my mom and dad I'm going somewhere. I used to go, I'm going out.
And then what to see you on TV one day pop up?
Well, it didn't get to that stage, but it could have. It could have. Yeah. But when I used to tell them I'm doing good on radio, they obviously didn't understand. They were just happy. They were like, "Wow, and my brothers' families were happy," and because it's notoriety, isn't it? It's getting to that stage of wow, he's achieving something in that world. But when I came into Nasheed's, alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's when I saw my mum. I remember I performed, I had a tour in Pakistan, and I remember my mum and dad came, and I did a Nasheed. I've written a Nasheed for my mum called Ma. It's an older one. I'm going to release it soon, inshallah.
I think you've mentioned the...
Yeah, I can't say I love you to my mum. May Allah forgive me. I'm my dad raised me like a proper man, right?
Mature.
Don't be sensitive. Don't show your emotions. So I thought, what can I do? I wrote Ma, and I remember it was a proper segregated event, and the people, because I was performing, they let my mum sit in the back of the room, and I remember I did Ma, and I broke down on stage, and then when I finished, I went off, and my mum was crying, and I remember I walked out, and people started coming around me, and my dad was there, and I just looked at my dad, and my dad just was like this, had a smile on his face, and my uncle was with him.
Was it the first time they ever heard you sing?
Yeah, live, like they've seen me at home or whatever, but in front of people, and when people were coming up to him, Maurice, can I take a photo with you? My dad's cousin was there with him, and he goes to my dad, whatever you've done in your life, to my dad he said, and he said, whatever you've done in your life, you've done something right. Look at this, your son, who doesn't go against the will of Allah. Look at him, look at the people, the love they show. And my dad was speechless. My dad's old. My dad's like nearly 80. And he's on, and my dad was like, alhamdulillah. My brother's a very successful businessman, for example. I don't have a lot of money, my sister. What I have is my deen, alhamdulillah. And
that weighs higher.
Yeah, inshallah. And I pray, my brothers are beautiful people, but obviously we all want money, right? We all want risk, but what for me is that I've made a decision that I hope I can stick to it. I just pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps me doing voice only Nasheeds and people support me. That's what you need. You need your brothers and sisters to support you, because there's 1.5 billion of us, man. We could rule the world, if we supported each other,
Inshallah. So when you were in this journey of getting back to deen, stuff like that, was there ever any back trips? Like stopping to pray?
No.
Or really?
No.
So you're quite a willful person.
Yeah, no, my deen's everything to me.
But like before, like when you just made that sudden change, were there ever any drawbacks trying to bring you back to R&B?
Oh yeah, no, that happens today.
Yeah.
That happens to this day. People are telling me what you're doing, because
or like even like missing a salah, like you never, because like there must have been something must
unless
have
I've slept through a salah. I've never gone, I'm gonna miss salah. I fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a lot, and I think that's what sometimes we as people sometimes forget. that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most loving, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala his wrath is there. So we have to remember that it has to be a balance of fear and love. And I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the most, and I fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the most. I don't wanna miss Salah. I'm scared.
No, but I'm just saying. So how old were you at that time? Okay, sorry, I don't want to.
No. You could guess what my age is.
No, not now. At that time when you had that change. He's not gonna tell us his age, is he? No, that time when you had that sudden.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Oh, do you mean a drawback back into the music?
Your turning point. That's the word. Turning point. That age.
Oh no. It wasn't. When I made a decision, for me, because I had a very strong connection with my creator anyway. So now I just submitted to my religion.
That's amazing, because a lot of people go through that and then they'll slip back a bit, and then they'll go forward and they'll slip it back, and mashallah, you just stayed on it. So when you start growing your beard and stuff, your mum obviously started getting more happy that mashallah.
Growing the beard,
because you said mashallah, your mother's quite practicing.
My mother's really practicing, alhamdulillah,
and it must have been a nice thing for them to see, like mashallah, he's doing something in the name of Allah now.
Yeah, I've never really asked him, to be honest with you. I've never really
think it's
said
in the Pakistani community we don't express our feelings, unfortunately. Isn't it?
It is. It's just tough. I think Asians are very. For example, my wife's Bengali.
Oh, okay.
And I remember when I saw the Bengali culture, I was like, this is exactly the same. You guys just speak a bit different to us, you know, and you like certain cuisine, but it's the same thing. We used to
be one country anyway, Bangladesh.
And Asians, Indians, all of our, we've got that same kind of thing, you know, and alhamdulillah, my mom and dad are very understanding people, alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. So coming back to so obviously you know, so mashallah, I'm just still surprised that you stayed on that path. Like you said, you do have a bit of negative drawbacks now, but mashallah, I still can't believe that you're a negative person. I've heard so much about you from people that you're quite chilled out.
We obviously know that brother Salim's in the studio here right with us, but if you spoke to him about me for half an hour, he'd say Omar is very positive, but he can bring I believe that I haven't achieved anything yet. So for me,
mashallah, you're always going in different countries.
No, it doesn't matter. For me, I want to.
You've been to quite. You've been to Australia.
I'm in many countries.
Australia, was it Mexico? Was one?
No. America, Malaysia.
That's where I got mixed up. Australia. Australia. We said.
South Africa.
Norway.
Yeah.
Denmark.
No. South Africa. Switzerland. All these. I've been to Holland. I'm on a 1 month. I'm on a tour. 1 month tour of the east coast of America from September.
Mashallah.
So alhamdulillah, that'll be good. Then South Africa again.
It must be tiring.
No, it's beautiful, man.
Really?
Like America, when I went to America last time, I was at the conference, ICNA conference in Baltimore, and I've never performed in front of such an amazing crowd. It was 20,000 people.
Whoa.
And I remember when I went on stage.
That's your biggest.
When I went on stage, I remember, I don't move on stage, I stand on stage. Back in the day, obviously, you have to move around. But I stood on stage, I had my jubba on, leather jacket, that's my kind of signature look. And I started reciting Nasheed, and I remember people everyone was singing back with me. Aww. And I remember when I came off stage, the guys were like, we've had performers before, we've had all the instrument guys, but we've never had anybody do what you did today. And I went, that's not because of me, that's from Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you do something for the sake of Allah and you work in His way, without the instruments and all that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you that extra energy on stage, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fill it up.
If your intention is clear and it's just focusing on Him, He makes ways. And I've experienced that in my life as well. If you just focus on Him and say, you know what, He's going to sort it out, and if it is for Him especially,
indeed,
mashallah, He always makes a way.
Indeed.
And I'm going to see if we can able to play the second track of Mawlaya wa salli wa sallam daiman, and if it doesn't work again, would it be okay to ask you to sing again?
Hopefully I can remember that one, inshallah.
Yes, you do. Come on.
I know the chorus, of course, but I'm talking about the verses.
I'm sorry guys, it's not working for some reason today. I just don't know why. I think maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to make him keep singing for us all night. Can you please do the chorus for that, please?
Inshallah, bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم.
Oh, thank you so much. Right. Actually, we've got a special giveaway today for Omar Esa's CD. And we're going to choose one lucky winner. And it's going to be signed by Omar Esa. Is that all right to get it signed from you?
Yes, of course. Yes.
And the question's going to be is, should I make it difficult for you guys? Should I make it easy? What do you think?
Easy, I guess.
Right, the question is going to be, what was Omar Esa's first trip to music? How did he get into the music industry? I think that's easy enough.
I hope so. I don't know. I was even thinking about the answer there.
I know the answer already.
Okay.
Maybe I should get it. I know the answer. So just pop your answers in the live stream if you want to win, and inshallah in the evening we'll just randomly choose someone and we'll post you. We'll get in touch with you and we'll get your address and we'll post you a copy. Right, before we go off, I would like to ask you, as yourself, what kind of advice would you give to people, say if they want to achieve something and they want to go for their dreams? What is your top-notch advice that picks you up and pushes you and motivates you to do what you do? You can look at them when you're speaking.
What I would say, my brothers and sisters, is that never ever give up on your faith. Remember that rope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, it's always there. Whatever you do, you may be an accountant, you may be a presenter, you may be a sports person, you may be a lawyer, you may be, a shopkeeper, whatever. Remember to always keep your faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not neglect your salahs. I always say to people, my sister, salah, praying 5 times a day is just 25 minutes of your day.
Wow, it's nothing.
And that is including your sunnahs. Yeah? And that is a 24-hour day. We sleep for 8, for example. I don't, but some people do. When you have that much time, and that is how easy our deen is. Wallahi, salah is that keeps me going, because I have that moment, that meeting with your creator 5 times a day. When we want to have interviews, we get dressed in our best clothes, we're ready for it.
It's true.
But 5 times a day we get to talk to the creator of the universe. So remember, never give up on your faith. Wallahi, wallahi, I sit here and tell you, if you're far away from the deen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never closes his doors. Human beings will. People will let you down, indeed. That's insan. Allah will never let you down. Never, ever let go of that rope and keep with your salah, inshallah.
That's such beautiful advice. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for taking your time out today and coming in, and I hope we get some answers in, and inshallah we'll be sending you the CD, the album, and thank you everyone for watching, and until next time on the Life Show with Musart.